YouTube, what is going on? It's the Nail Talk 23. I'm back with another video. Before we get into the video, YouTube, I need you to hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. Turn on that post notification bell while you at it. Today we got Before They Were Famous, Blueface, Hip Hop Schoolyard Crip. Let's get straight into it.
Oh God, here we go again. This gotta be like the third time I'm doing this video, but this guy don't stop rapping off beat. And Marion, who? This girl's nuts! Anyway, here we go. Before becoming one of the most controversial figures in rap music of recent history, well, hip-hop artist Blueface was born Jonathan Michael Porter on January 20th, 1997 in the city of Angels, Los Angeles, California. Now, unfortunately for him, well, Blueface's parents, they would divorce soon afterwards, leading to him shuffling back and forth living with them both. Now, he'd split his childhood between California and the state of Ohio. Now, Blueface, he kept up this hectic pace all throughout his earliest years. Then when he became a teenager, well, things they settled down a bit. Now, he spent the first few years of high school living in Santa Clarita Valley, while his mom, she pursued an acting career that never really went anywhere. Now, instead, it ended up being Blueface, who actually booked himself a McDonald's commercial. That's right, take a look.
You were in a McDonald's commercial?
Yeah. Now, shortly thereafter, his mother relocated to San Fernando Valley during Blueface's senior year, and he
rental house for Chris? It matters where you stay.
McDonald's, Blueface on a McDonald's.
At Full Sail, our technology programs are designed with a different approach to learning. We let students...
He transferred to Alerta High School, where he joined the marching band, and he had his first taste of musical production. But back then, it wasn't music that appealed to this young kid. Instead, Blueface, he was very much into football, and he was actually really good too. Now, having honed his chops during the first few years of high school, well, when Blueface arrived at his new school, he became the starting quarterback, and he carried his team to an 8-4 record. This included winning the East Valley League Championship. Now, having found success on the gridiron, well, Blueface figured the next step in his journey, it was to head off to college, so he committed to playing for Fayetteville State University, located out in North Carolina. Leaving his mother behind, while Blueface made the cross-country move, only to discover that his passion for school and football, it wasn't quite as deep as he thought it was.
Played quarterback. I went to Fayetteville State out in North Carolina. So it was cool. It was just too far.
By 2016, while Blueface, he was on his way back home to California. Now, while he'd been gone, well, his mother, she had also moved out of the state, and now that he was back without her peering over his shoulder, well, Blueface started getting up to no good. Now, he explained to the New York Times, "I think if she was in Cali when I was doing my thing, it wouldn't have worked. I would have been in her nest, and she wouldn't have necessarily agreed with half the shit I was doing. It made Blueface be able to be Blueface 100%. For the next little while Blueface, he would spend his time between legitimate endeavors and making a living on the streets. In point of fact, well, the name Blueface actually is a nickname he's had ever since joining the ranks of the Schoolyard Crips, which had dominated the neighborhood he grew up in as a kid. Now, when he wasn't on the streets earning a few bucks however he could, well, Blueface was at home caring for his newborn son, Javon. That's right. Now, there was also a brief period of time during this whole process when Blueface considered the idea of becoming a barber while running an Instagram account called The Fade Room that became a one-stop shop for anyone looking for content involving haircuts and fistfights. It's a niche audience, to say the least. Now, reflecting on this tumultuous period of his life, well, Blueface, he would tell XXL, "It was actually my last shot at life. I was working both jobs selling weed and just hustles. I kind of fell out of love with all of those things, and once I got used to it, that's kind of not good. Once I found music, I had some goals." Now, Blueface had grown up listening to rap artists like 50 Cent, The Game, and Snoop Dogg, but while he always loved rap, he had never considered doing anything with it. Now that his work prospects were starting to dry up, however, he had a family to care for, and Blueface, well, he had to figure out something fast. It was more or less fate that led Blueface to his first studio session. In 2017, he just so happened to be returning an iPhone accessory to his friend and rapper, TC4800, who was posted up in a recording studio. Now, after hearing how his voice sounded for the first time, well, Blueface fell in love with the art form, and from that point forward, well, he was determined to become a rapper by hell or high water. Now, during the fall of 2017, well, Blueface, he began uploading some of his own original music to SoundCloud, starting with Kick a Dough in September. Now, he'd continue to release an extensive list of songs over the next year or so, but it wasn't until his track Deadlocks that he really made an impression. In fact, that track's reach extended as far as hip-hop maestro Drake, who after hearing it hopped onto social media to let Blueface know.
Next big thing, and Dead Low So Hard, been my anthems I put mad people on. Keep killing G, trust me, shit about to pop once people catch up. You know I'm always ready to cook. Boy, one got the BT nail.
that he really wanted to cook up with him. For real. Emboldened like never before with Blueface, he started to get even more creative. Not only did he begin pumping out music videos to accompany his songs, he also did what he could to go viral by pulling up to random California high schools and performing impromptu concerts that earned him a bunch of new fans. Soon enough, labels, they came calling, and Blueface, well, he scored not one, but 2 deals before the end of 2018. Now, first, he signed with E1 for a one-shot mixtape titled Famous Crip, which included the hit single Thotiana, a song that would go incredibly viral and propel the sales of his tape to the number 29 spot on the Billboard 200. But he also signed a much wider-ranging deal with Cash Money West for all the subsequent releases to follow. Now that he was under the Cash Money umbrella, while Blueface, he fell under the purview of hip-hop legend Wack 100, who became his manager. Over the next few months, while Wack, he teamed Blueface up with a string of big-name collaborators, such as The Game, Rich the Kid, and Offset. But just as it seemed like Blueface was primed to take over the scene, well, a series of legal setbacks interrupted the proceedings. First, he was arrested in November of 2018 and brought up on a charge of assault with a deadly weapon after firing at someone he claims was trying to rob him at a Chevron gas station. Now, about 2 months later, well, he was arrested yet again for felony gun possession after he was caught by police with a loaded, unregistered firearm. Blueface would plead not guilty in both of these cases, and later that year, well, he'd also find himself facing backlash after tossing cash around to homeless people out in Los Angeles' Skid Row. I've been there before. The people there, they're hungry. Now, the artist claims he was just trying to show a charitable spirit, but others saw this act as nothing more than a misguided clout chase. Now, whether that's true or not, by March of 2020, Blueface finally attempted to get his career back on the rails by dropping his debut studio album, Find the Beat. Great title. But if I'm being honest, now the reaction to this long-delayed album, well, it was lukewarm at best. In fact, none of his singles would chart anywhere on Billboard. Now, having hit a bump in the road while Blueface, he called an audible. Beginning in 2020, well, he started focusing less on churning out music and more on embracing the one thing that seemed to come easily to him, which of course we're talking about is controversy. Blueface kicked off 2020 with the creation of social media reality series Blue Girls Club, and while many people were initially very confused as to why he'd invite a bunch of strange women, to come live with him in the middle of a pandemic, well, the idea paid off for him in the long run. Not only did he keep his name circulating on the internet, but this series would lead to his long-running and contentious relationship with one of the stars. Of course, we're talking about Krishan Rock. Now, these two, they go together about as well as oil and water, but wherever they go, people tend to watch their every move. Probably because they always wind up getting into an argument of some sort and then, well, attacking one another. Now, I've explored this relationship in a series of videos in the past, so if you want to learn more about it, well, be sure to check them out, especially our recently updated edition of Before They Were Famous on the come-up of Krishan Rock. Now, outside of getting into slapping matches with his romantic partner, well, Blueface also stepped into the ring to fight TikToker Kane Trujillo in 2021. Following that victory, well, Blueface, he was scheduled to box twice more in the fall of 2022, but both of those matches would wind up getting canceled. One because of, bad publicity involving Blueface and Krishan, and another because the rapper was declined a pro boxing license. While working towards releasing his next studio album, tentatively titled Fan or Op, well, Blueface dropped new singles in 2022 like Street Signs, Meet This, and One Time. But to this point, well, the album, it still never manifested itself, and a release date, well, it's yet to be confirmed. Instead, Blueface has been busy defending himself from an attempted murder charge that he picked up in November of 2022 after firing a weapon at a man in a vehicle who his entourage had a confrontation with earlier in the night. Now, Blueface was briefly sent to Clark County Detention Center before being released on a $50,000 bail. Now, he's set to appear in court to face these charges in early 2023. Now, since then, well, there's been the news that he's potentially about to be a father again after Krishan Rock. Well, she announced that she was pregnant, but according to Blueface, well, the kid ain't his. What? He also recently found himself in the midst of a beef with DJ Academics after the both of them, well, they started trading shots involving one another's careers and finances. Now, I'd show you the tweets, but then I'd have to blur every second word. Now, there's a chance this is going to all end with these two men stepping into a ring to actually face one another, but considering Blueface's track record for fights, well, actually manifesting themselves, I'm not going to hold my breath, because I don't think Academics needs the money, right? In other words, Blueface, he's got a whole lot on his plate right now. The only problem is that most of it, well, it ain't music. Now, will he ever return to his hip-hop roots? Or will Blueface remain content simply being, an online personality who people love to hate? I guess we're just all gonna have to wait and see, because this is an updated Before They're Famous. Thanks, guys, for checking out this video. Now, before we wrap up, I have a question for you guys. Considering Blueface has only released one studio album in 5 years, how often do you think an artist should drop a new project to stay relevant? It's an interesting question. I'd love to hear what you guys have have to
Once
say.
a year,
I'd say
bro.
every 2 years, because things move so fast these days. But I'd love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. Whatever Taylor
Yeah.
Swift did, well, that certainly worked for her. But everyone was a banger for, you know, all her fans. My wife's like, oh my God, she's the best. Right? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications. I'll see
We'll see you on the next one. But yeah, as far as especially somebody like him, he should have at least been dropping once a year. 1 album in 5 years, bro. You got like a couple hits on. Like, come on, bro. But YouTube, that's gonna be it for this video. If you're rocking with the channel, leave me a like, comment, and subscribe. Catch me on the next one.